Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Those that joined me yesterday, I mentioned pre-market exactly what I was looking for, bear case scenario. Bear case scenario, I says the market spikes up at open, possibly, let's just see where we were, 402, and then we have a pullback. Actually, that was 2 days ago. Yesterday was we spike up at open, look for rejection 3 times, which we saw at the 399 level. Then we dropped pretty quickly. Market tried to rebound. Volume increased a little. However, we were still seeing much of a chop. So let me talk about what I'm expecting today and the key stories. First, if you join SOC Trading, should be a link below SOC platform. That is our Discord. I mention that because the public watch list for today is Coinbase. Now, an interesting fact about Coinbase, which is kind of ironic, is their second largest revenue stream from crypto, from their crypto exchange, is interest income, where they get from depositing their own cash and customers' cash into US treasuries. So they're making money from fiat, but they're a crypto exchange. Does anybody find that a little ironic as far as Coinbase comes? Again, that's their number 2 revenue stream. What else are we looking at? Okay, Morgan Stanley, Mike Wilson. We all know he's one of the largest bears out there. He's calling this market a bull trap, and he says the market will continue its downward slide in March. So that's what he's thinking. Again, I mentioned coin on the public watch list. What have we seen in the past couple of days? The VIX is down 12%. The US dollar has pulled back from its highs. Technology is up. And then most importantly, Tesla's up nearly 6%. Now, I mentioned Tesla because when we spoke about Friday, I spoke about a ton of calls being purchased end of day. And we used quant data for that. So again, all of these call options or these large contracts that are being purchased are all on our Discord. Again, you want to go to Golden Sweeps, Unusual Activity. Another interesting thing, I'm looking at Block, and I got this from TrendSpider. Again, we look like we're in stages. So if the market does rally for maybe a week straight, we could see a major squeeze on Block. Advancers beat decliners yesterday, 3,500 to 2,900. So about a ratio of 1.3. Advancers over decliners. So everybody's saying bear market, downward spiral. However, yesterday was bullish to me in the market, even though the market tended to sell off a little. So far, what have we had? January CPI above expectations. January PPI above expectations. January jobs above expectations. January PCE above expectations and rising. December PCE CPI revised higher. So what's going to happen in early March if February's CPI, PPI, PCE all come in higher? It's going to put downward pressure on the market. So Mike Wilson could be correct. However, we're like at least a week away from that occurrence happening. So in the next week, what am I expecting? Chop. There is a major rejection level on the SPY that I'm looking at today. It's right at the 399 level. Now, the support level that I'm looking at the SPY, there was dark pool purchase. The only thing close to $1 billion was at 396.46, which is interesting because one of the dark pool levels yesterday was 396.44. So if we see support at 396.44 and we see rejection at 399, the question is, which one do we break first? Do we break over 399? If we do break over 399, then we're going to see 402 again. If we break under 396, then I mentioned 392, 394, all possibilities. So I'm going to talk about those specific dark pool levels. Most bearish flows yesterday. Tesla, which was up 6% over the past couple of days, is up 2% pre-market. Apple and Nvidia, however, they still keep going higher. So again, those could be some hedges being put in place. Let's talk about my trades because I posted 2 trades on Discord yesterday. Actually, I posted 4 trades on Discord yesterday. I went into stock only for Wish, WISH, in at 50 cents. My exit strategy is going to be 81 cents a share or 60% gain. My entry strategy, I purchased 25% or 2,500 shares right at 50 cents. I'm going to purchase another 2,500 at 45. And if it drops to 40, which would be a 25% decline, okay, I will purchase my other 50% position. That's how I scale into a trade. When I scale out of a trade, I will do the same thing. I scale out more in options than I do in stock only. But again, Wish stock only. Then I mentioned D-Dog yesterday morning that I saw D-Dog or even Cloudflare, which is net, N-E-T, should go in. They seem to have some demand. They're tech play, cloud play. So I got involved with D-Dog, took profit once. I'm in a second time. At what? What was my entry on D-Dog? $77.90. And then it dropped to $77.43. And what did I do? Increase my position. After I increased my position and put it on Discord, what happened? The stock dropped another 20 cents lower. So everybody had time to enter. Where's the stock this morning? I believe it's at 78. Again, I'm expecting inflow today. My exit strategy would be about 3% higher. I'm looking for somewhere between $81 and $82 to exit. I also mentioned two more trades on Discord. Lyft in at $10. It's only at 10.06 or 10.10 this morning pre-market. So no real movement there. Again, I'm looking to call the bottom when I re-enter a trade. I spoke about Lyft last week. After I spoke about Lyft, we secured profit. It went above $11. Now it's back down. That's why you wait for entry. Next, Uber Technologies. Uber got in at $33.40. What happened after I got in? It dropped another 8 or 10 cents, so I could have got in a little better, but anybody that saw my trade also could have got in. Where's Uber this morning? Again, I don't really know yet. I think it's at 33.65. We saw a pop on Uber, so I did close green on that trade, and the fact that it's up pre-market, that's a good thing. I also mentioned a ton of Lazard calls were being purchased and have been purchased from Friday to yesterday. Again, Lazard has had positive inflow for 3 straight days. Strike price, $9. Strike price, $9.50. I believe the stock is right above $10. Talked about rate hikes. We got a 100% chance that there's a 25% rate hike or 25 basis points in March. Probably on March 22nd is when they make the announcement. So that's the third week in March. Then we skip April. May 3rd is the next time they meet. 100% chance of a 25% rate hike then. Then you have a 72% chance of a rate hike of 25 basis points in June. And this is new, a 4th potential rate hike in July, taking our rate up to 5.5 to 5.75%. Again, the Fed was talking about they wanted to keep between 5 and 5.5. Now we're talking about 5.75 on its way to 6. And I've heard possibly 7. So the rate hikes could continue. So the whole thing is I see buying in the market. I see certain stocks that have inflow and will likely go higher. However, with all the talk about the Fed raising rates, job numbers going up, inflation, et cetera, instead of 5 to 5.5%, now they're talking about 6%, possibly as high as 7%. Those mean continued rate hikes. Continued rate hikes put downward pressure on the market. So that's what I'm seeing right now. Let's just see what happened. Okay, let's just bring up Discord right now so we can talk about the flow of the market. And then we can talk about where the ranges of support and resistance will be. So what did I bring up on Discord? I brought up the net flow for the entire market. Okay, the white indicates the price of the market. We could see a bit of a turnaround right before close as we bottomed at 396 yesterday. Let me just make sure I'm sharing this with you. I am. What we see is the cost for calls, the premiums, they're still above the premiums for puts. That's still somewhat bullish for the market, but we did see the cost for puts increase significantly in the last part of the trading yesterday, right as we crossed around 398 or a little lower, 397.5. With that said, looking at the SPY this morning at 398.08, as high as 399 pre-market. So then what do I do next step? Well, I go back to Discord, I get rid of the net flows, and I want to look at the dark pool level. So I'll pull up the dark pool level and talk about what we're seeing. Dark pool level, major levels where? Let's just go to this number right here in the middle, 406.32. So again, if in a bull case scenario, the market was to run up at any point this week, whether it is Tuesday today, Wednesday tomorrow, we get 2 straight bullish days, something to that extent, I would expect the market to reject 406.32. Under that, you basically have a ghost zone right here at 404. Very little supply, very little volume. Under that, you're talking about 401.72. So if we do break that 399.42 level, and again, 399 rejected 3 times yesterday morning, with the 3rd rejection being a little under the 2nd rejection, which I told you is exactly what I'm looking for to tell me the market was going down yesterday. So there was strategy, entry, and exit at 397. Why 397? Because that is the next level down. 397.12, again, 9 billion. Under that at 394, you're talking about 2.26, more of a ghost zone. Under that, you're talking about 392, where it's about 6 to 8 billion. You're not seeing it on the chart, but it's a little larger. So levels of support, we're going to say 392 if we drop to that level, okay? Under that, or above that, sorry, 397.12. So yesterday, whereas 396, we bounced down a touch. I'm thinking the low on today, if we're going to see a bull case scenario, is we're going to drop down to 397 after open. Let me get my full picture on here. Okay, bull case scenario. SPY, S&P drops to 397 at open. And we're right now at 397.92. So let's actually say 396 and change, drops down at open, spikes back up to where we closed, which is 397.73. And from there, we go higher to the 399. So the number I'm watching this morning, again, is going to be 399. We break 399, we're heading up to 402. That's your bull case scenario. Bull case scenarios, drop it open, then rebound quickly, and then head up to 392. I mean, yeah, 402, which would be about a 1% gain in the market today. That's what I'm looking at, 60%. If I'm going to take a bear case scenario, and although I'm a bear, I am in bullish positions, so I'm actually thinking, okay, green inflow day. However, you need to come up with two scenarios. So the second scenario is the market's going to go down today. So what would we see? Well, we're seeing the market. We closed at 397.73. We're going to open at, let's say, 390. Where are we right now? 397.91, 398. So we're probably going to open around 398. So your bear case scenarios, 398. We go and we see the same exact pattern as yesterday, meaning the SPY goes up to 399 and change, rejects once, goes up to 399 and change, rejects second time, and does it a third time before we drop. So that's your bear case scenario. Again, I've got two plays. So if I see rejection at 399 3 times today, what would I do? The first step I do is I'd sell all my bullish positions. Calls of D-Dog. I'm going to sell my calls in Boyle. I'm going to sell my calls in Uber. I'm going to sell my calls in Lyft. Again, if I see rejection at the top at 399, I want to see rejection 3 times, meaning a triple top. If we break through and we hit the 400 number, then I'm going to hold all of my options because I believe we're going to at least 401.50. Okay, another 0.32% higher on the SPY, which means my stock should move in the same direction, which means if I want max value, I'm going to hold. I'm going to hold with my diamond hands. Again, bear case scenario, we're going to see a spike at open. We're going to see the triple rejection. Then I say to myself, triple rejection. I know the market's going lower, similar to Monday. Let me get out of my positions and secure profit. So there are my two trading strategies to start the market. Now, people might be saying, well, he's talking about bull case scenario, but he's talking about a drop right out of the gate. Yes, generally on bull days, inflow days, green days in the market, we tend to see a drop right out of the gate. Wherever futures are, this morning they're a little green. We're expecting a drop and then again a spike, and then we're going to pass yesterday's close and head all the way up to 401, which is where I thought we'd do yesterday. Now, sometimes I'm a day late. So yes, I'm predicting we see 401 at some point today. The fact that we are sitting at 397 and change or 398 flat tells me we can go a whole 0.75% higher. Now that I've said that, so let's talk about a few stocks that I've been watching, and I'll mention what's going on with each of these stocks and why they're interesting to me. Okay, first, Walt Disney. Disney's at $100.45. Why is Disney on my list? Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 out of the last 9 days have been inflow days into Disney. Disney's volume has gone down over those days. But yesterday, Ron DeSantis signed a bill into law, which basically eliminates Disney's tax breaks. Disney was like its own city or state representing itself, had certain tax breaks. Now that that's signed into law, because Disney did not like Ron DeSantis's "don't say gay" phrase or terminology or law that he put in. So he basically punished Disney. Now Disney owes $700 million in back taxes. And things will get progressively worse as far as taxes go for Disney. What else? Snowflake. I mentioned Snowflake when Sarah asked yesterday on the live stream. She's in at 149 and change. She had options going out till I think July. That expired. The strike price 230. If Snowflake continues to go higher, and yesterday again it was $149. I said the max that I think Snowflake will go up to over the next week or two would be about $177. So the fact that it went up 4% yesterday, it's probably up a little pre-market. Let's see, 20.29%. I do believe Snowflake will run a little higher. We'll probably see 159 out of Snowflake today, which would be another 3% higher. So that's one stock that I'm watching. Cloudflare, which is net, I mentioned that, and I mentioned DDOG. They're up slightly this morning, 0.2% and 0.12%. Meta, I saw a bunch of calls hit the tape yesterday. Again, Meta's right around the 170 mark, a little under. General Electric announced a shelf offering. I'm going to stay away from General Electric. I don't really follow it. AMC pushed 22% higher yesterday, is up another 2% this morning. Volume was extremely good yesterday. So for AMC to run and squeeze a little higher, and where could it go? It could go all the way to the $9 range. You need to see some heavy volume today. So if heavy volume on AMC continues, again, get a quick scalp from $761 all the way to $9. Would I be purchasing AMC at $761 or $777 pre-market? No, I would have to wait for a drawback. So unfortunately, I probably missed my opportunity on AMC, but it is on my watch list. I mentioned DDOG. I mentioned Wish pre-market. Again, stock only, wouldn't get involved with options. Too risky for a meme and a penny stock. But again, I see some good things coming from Wish ahead. Where else? Zim is up. I'll probably exit out of that position, whether it's today or tomorrow. I'm watching Bumble. I'm watching NVIDIA. Again, Bumble had outflow yesterday. NVIDIA was one of the most bearish flows yesterday, even though it did go higher. All right, thoughts on DPZ. What is that? Domino's Pizza? Let me just see. DPZ. Yep, that is Domino's Pizza. Domino's Pizza, I don't know what the earnings call was. I saw they have earnings, and I saw ever since they had earnings past 3 days, it's been outflow, outflow, outflow. So do I think that DPZ is going to bounce higher and maybe rebound off that earnings? And here's what the stock looks like right there. It could, but I definitely think there's more downside available. And if I was going to put a number on, we're talking about we're at the lowest point in the last 3 months. We're at the lowest point in the last 1 year. Again, we haven't seen volume like this on Domino's. You'd have to go back all the way to pre-pandemic. We're talking about December of 2019 before we saw last time we saw volume like this. So yeah, I would stay hell clear of Domino's Pizza. Again, if the market does pull back, Domino's Pizza will probably pull back a little more than the market in general. If the market rebounds, I think Domino's Pizza, although it could bounce a little, I wouldn't want to be involved. So again, where am I involved? Uber, Lyft, DDOG. I'm eyeing Disney. Baba, let's take a look at Baba. Now for Baba, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go back to Discord for the Baba. Let me just pull that up. Let me get over here and let's look at the net flow and the algorithms for Baba. So TR, let's look at the net flow for, hopefully this works. I never do it in all in caps. TR net flow Baba. Let's see what it looks like. Make sure you guys can see this with me. You can. Perfect. So Alibaba still looks extremely bearish. The cost for premiums for puts are still pretty high. Calls actually dropped. Here we go on the 27th, and they haven't rebounded. So for me to invest or be bullish Baba, I would need to see calls right back at least the neutral level right about here. I would need to see the puts maybe pull back to about this level here. And again, I want to see the stock price heading towards the crossover, which I haven't seen. And again, I really don't trust China. China changed their policy this morning. They said as of Wednesday, masks are no longer required. But let's remember, pre-pandemic, a lot of Chinese citizens were already wearing masks. So I don't think it's going to change their behavior all that much. And then again, our U.S. Department of Energy came out with a news story yesterday released saying that COVID-19 was created in a Chinese laboratory. However, our U.S. government, the White House, said they couldn't support that theory. They didn't reject the theory, but they said they couldn't support it unless they had more intelligence. Why? Because if they support the theory and blame China, they're going to sound exactly like Donald Trump, meaning Biden will. And that's something they don't want to do. Okay, with that said, again, we spoke about the levels of the SPY. I'll review them one more time. Let's just go back and take one more look at Alibaba, and let's look at the algo flow of Baba, and just see if that changes my thought process any. Not really. I like to see bullish or bearish divergence, meaning I like to see when the algo's up here and the stock price is down here, I know the stock price will go higher. When the stock price is up here and the algo tells me it should be down here, I know the stock price will likely come down a little. Right now, the fact that they're sitting in the same level, it tells me that Baba could definitely just be range trading somewhere between like an $88 and maybe an $88.75 today. So I'm looking for real movement. I'm looking for something that I think could either jump higher or jump lower to make money. When something looks like it's range trading or trading in line with the algorithms and in line with the net flow, I'm going to stay away from it because my chances of making profit or getting a spike or a dip is somewhat neutralized. I like to go with bearish or bullish divergence. I like to use the ranges of the SPY to find support and resistance. Again, 2 days ago on Friday, we saw the SPY reject 402. Yesterday, we saw the SPY reject 399. So again, it's rejecting lower highs. So what is likely? Well, again, if today is a bearish day, then we're likely probably to see something we saw yesterday, which is a 399 rejection. If we see 399 rejection, we'll probably go all the way to 395. Okay, that's your bear case scenario. Reject 399 and change 399.20, 399.30. Never to make it 400 on the SPY. We reject, we go down, we touch 395 at some point today. Bull case scenario. Bull case scenario is we start out the market right at 398. We drop down to 396, let's say 73, a number that we visited yesterday is yesterday's low. We drop down to yesterday's low. We find support and we shoot up. If we break the 399 level, then I think we're going to $401.50. And that is my plan of action today. Again, today, for some reason, although I'm a long-term bear and I think the markets deserve to be lower, I actually think the markets could be inflow today and could go higher. I see a chop, meaning 1 day of outflow, 1 day of inflow, 1 day of outflow, 1 day of inflow. Who makes the most money from that? The banks and institutions. Why? Because they're selling you your call and put options. So unless you're grabbing the best entry, which is why I talk about, please show patience. You must have patience. With that said, if you're thankful that I'm here every morning, please give me a thumbs up, make a comment on the side. I'm going to be back tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, I might be doing it from a different location. So we'll see. Carlos, I'll update you on shortly. But everybody else is welcome to join me on Discord. And again, I'm going to break down the SPY ranges to specifics, meaning I'm going to give you 4 numbers. Level 1 of support, level 2 of support. So if we see it break down, we're looking for support at 1 level. If not, the second level. Same thing on the higher side. If we break north, you're going to see and know that you're looking to be bullish today. If we break and hold, you're knowing what the next level is on the higher side. So that's where I'm heading now.